JD Vance here, live from my office in the White House complex and filling in for somebody who cannot be filled in for, but I'm going to try to do my best, my dear friend, the great Charlie Kirk. The last several days have been extremely hard for our country. They've been hard for me, hard for my family, hard for the countless people in this building who knew and loved Charlie Kirk. Every single person in this building, we owe something to Charlie. He was a joyful warrior for our country. He loved America. He devoted himself tirelessly to making our country a better place. He was a critical part of getting Donald Trump elected as president, getting me elected as vice president. And so much of our success over the last 7 months is due to his efforts, his staffing, his support, and his friendship. I don't think that I'm alone in saying that Charlie was the smartest political operative I ever met. Everyone knew him as this fearless debater, this guy who would take the conservative message into hostile places and inspire younger generations to have courage. One thing that's hit a lot of those young Americans over the last week was how Charlie was there for them when others were not. What do you take from Charlie Kirk, the communicator?
So many things, just by watching him and by being around him. But I think most of all, standing firm in your convictions and picking a fight, especially when you know you have the facts and the truth on your side, but doing it with a smile. And that's something Charlie did so brilliantly and well. He would go to these campus reform events and he would say to the crowd, if you disagree with me, come to the front of the line.
Now, we've spent obviously many days on this channel and this program specifically talking about the effect of Charlie Kirk, the person, the speeches, the videos, but I've also spent some time, and I wanted to spend a second with you, trying to explain to people why the machine that he had built, called Turning Point USA, this is the game changer. This organisation was important in getting out the vote in many swing states. Everyone from the President, Steve Bannon, and many others at the absolute tippy top of MAGA say states like Arizona only went Trump because of the work that organisation had done. People need to understand that even if maybe they are not as engaged on the personality, that the machine that he has built is going to be a game changer for a couple of elections to come, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, in the United States, of course, there are states that are very close called swing states. And he was out there since 2012 when he began this movement, coming into those states, speaking to young voters, which particularly lean Democrat in the United States. So, of course, he was targeting them and trying to make them lean more to the right. And it was a big impact in these very close states. And I think that the movement will continue. The organizers have said that TPUSA is here to stay, and they're trying to figure out how to push it forward and be even more successful to live out his legacy.
Now, this is a multi-million-dollar question that if you get right, instant promotion and you'll have a TV show on every network around the world, okay? Which means it's a tough one. So, obviously America is many things. I love it. I got married there. I visit as often as I can. Love, love, love America. But obviously there's many crosswinds and tensions pushing in different directions. So you've got a scenario where Charlie Kirk has absolutely enlivened a whole bunch of young people towards the Republican Party, MAGA, Trump, and obviously the right of politics. Then in your hometown paper, the one that you write for, you've got this Mandani bloke who's an avowed socialist who looks like he's going to push his way towards the mayoralty. Do you think that the immediate future of polarisation in America isn't going to be about Team Red, Team Blue? It's going to be about, frankly, the purest versions of Team Red and Team Blue, a little bit more, dare I say, fundamentalist approaches to the left and right wing of the United States?
I mean, I think that we saw this play out right after Charlie Kirk's death. Just the amount of reactions in the US celebrating his death, I mean, was absolutely disgusting. And it was from people on the left. There is this huge polarization, this huge feeling of tension and just fundamental different beliefs from someone who is promoting debate, someone who's more conservative, of course, and has conservative views, and then someone who killed him and shot him, and people celebrating his death. I think that just shows that there are a big value difference right now between the parties. And I think that will continue. Of course, we want it to end, but I don't know what the solution is there.
Well, and by the way, next time some idiot from overseas says, oh, America, it's so polarised, there was a civil war. The 2000 election was decided by the Supreme Court. The 1960 election was essentially fiddled with in the state of Illinois. It's been going on for a while. It wasn't invented by Donald Trump. It wasn't perfected by Obama. This is part of the fundamental tension, which at its best creates one of the greatest countries in the world. And when it's tough, it's tough.
Joining us now from the centre of the American experiment, it's President and our great mate, John Hinderaker. John, there's often things that are tragic and terrible that we have to talk to you about, but this one is probably one of the worst. You knew Charlie Kirk. What are your thoughts, John, on his passing and his assassination?
Well, there's so much that you could say, Rowan. Yeah, I knew Charlie. My organization and his organization, Turning Point, collaborated on a number of things over the years. I saw Charlie for the last time earlier this year at the Turning Point headquarters down in Phoenix. And all the things that people are saying about Charlie are true, of course. Here's the one thing I would add, Rowan, and that is that Charlie was one of the most energetic people I have ever known. Just looking at his schedule would make you feel tired. He was all over the place. One of the most hardworking people, energetic people. And, one way of looking at it, Rowan, is that Charlie lived the way a man might live if he knew that he was only going to have 31 years.
Wow. Rita.
Yeah, that does make you think. He was talked about as a future leader in politics. People said he has the perfect background to become president one day. Did you believe that when you met with him and you dealt with him? Could he have been president?
Well, Charlie was a very talented guy, and he had a wonderful knack for dealing with people and leading people. And of course, that's the ultimate skill you need if you want to be in politics. Recently people have been saying that Charlie had been talking about his future maybe lying not in politics, but in the ministry and going to becoming a religious leader on a full-time basis. I would say that whatever Charlie had decided to do, he would have succeeded at.
James.
John, I've been thinking a lot about this for the last 3 days, trying to make sense of all of this and what the historical parallels are. I know Rowan made a sort of Christ-like analogy, but I think really there's also another analogy with Socrates, because of course Socrates was killed for corrupting the youth of Athens, for giving them bad ideas that were against the establishment and against, what we call the lefty establishment of the universities, the Democrats today. And he connected so well to those young people. And I would just like your thoughts on how that connection that he had to young people and the younger people, the people under 30 I talked to who are really big fans of his, they were all upset because they all said he was so passionate about making us believe again and figure out a way out of the problems in this system that we've been born into that's not serving us well. And, was he, in a sense, a martyr for the fact that he was able to give the youth another way out from what the hard left establishment, the universities, the media, the teachers' unions, all of them had told them was their fate?
Well, that's a really interesting question, James. I mean, there's no doubt that the ideas that Charlie stood for, patriotism and faith and really kind of old-fashioned values, are in today's world are countercultural. You know, he was the guy who stood apart from the establishment, apart from the received wisdom, apart from the professors who many students realize don't really know what they're talking about. And so I think you're right. I think Charlie did play that role. But I would say if he was a martyr to anything, he was a martyr to free speech. Mm-hmm. He didn't just advocate free speech. He practiced it. He spent his life practicing it. You know, I was thinking about this, and I thought, if you're opposed to free speech, what are you in favor of? And the answer is you're in favor of censorship. And I think in Charlie's killing, we were reminded once again that the ultimate censor is a bullet.